And all the Kingsmen said? Yes.
Fellas, how y'all doing this evening?
Great.
Welcome to episode 6 of the Kingsmen podcast. And the Kingsmen said? It's good to see you fellas. Today we got a very special guest. All right, and I wrote some stuff down. It's from the heart, all right? This is from the heart. But I'm going to give it to you like this. Tonight's guest. This is simply not an author, okay? He's a builder of men, a mentor, a voice that has spent decades pouring his wisdom into generations. He's a founder of a long-standing mentoring initiative called From Boys to Men, a program dedicated to guiding young men towards purpose, discipline, responsibility, and leadership. In a time where many are asking what masculinity really should look like, he's committed much of his life toward helping answer that question. He's also an accomplished author of 42 books, covering themes like personal growth, family, mentorship, purpose, legacy, and proving that his impact doesn't stop with just one conversation, one classroom, or one community. His words have reached far beyond where his feet have traveled. But beyond his titles, all his accomplishments, tonight's guest represents something deeper. A man committed to teaching others how to rise, how to lead, and how to become more. Because success is one thing, but creating fathers, better, stronger husbands, wise leaders, and more intentional men, that's legacy. Guys, help me welcome Stanley G. Buford.
Let's go, let's go.
How you doing? How you doing, man? Take a seat, man. We so happy to have you out on the Kingsmen podcast, where we talk money, mindset, and how to lead your household in today's time. We redefine what it really looks like to be a man in today's time. We want for another strong man to see the other strong man and say, he gets it. All right, so
I like that.
before we get started and I start asking questions, I want you to let everybody know who I was to you.
Well, when you weren't in the hallways without a pass.
That's tough.
Nah, let me keep it real. I think when we had our first communication, Reg, is when I either came to your room. It's a little bit fuzzy after the years, but I basically kind of explained to you that, hey, I got this program that I put together, and listen, I had just kind of pulled this thing together, whatever. So I was recruiting people, and you very, very quickly let me know that, hey, well, I'm willing to give it a chance. So you came in and you became a part of the program. And I remember you asked me a question that had to do with where we going, where do we go from here? And I always tell the gentlemen that are part of my programs, what I want you to do to show success is reinvent yourself in somebody else. And that's still my motto. That's still my premise today.
Absolutely.
But it seems that you've made a very, very good example of the individuals that we've come into contact with over the course of time. So I'm very happy to see that you're doing well, and that that $100 that you owe me, I'm gonna let you just go and keep it.
Well, praise God. So tell me, who was Stanley G. Buford before the books, before any titles, before any recognition? Who were you? Tell us about yourself.
Troublemaker.
Really?
Yeah, troublemaker. I was the type of person that you probably, not getting any trouble on the order that would cause me any discomfort to my family. I'm number 3 of 10 children.
What'd you say?
Number 3, 10. Wow. But my mother had the wherewithal to let us know we could never get in any trouble You know, it was never one of those things where it didn't go without. She was the judge, the jury, and the executioner.
All right.
And she said, when the lights come on at 10 o'clock, you better have your behind on this porch.
Who's got a mother or a grandmother that was like that? That's old school in the building.
So that was kind of like me. I grew up on the west side of Chicago.
West side? That's the best side.
And you know, I was fortunate enough. I'm the first college graduate of my 10 of the 10 in my family. So they were all kind of happy for me, and how that happened, I don't know. There's a story within a story. If you saw my grades, my inclinations, you would know how could you have ever been a college graduate. When I look at all the things you did coming up, my friends would say, but I was just dogged determined. And then I ran into a gentleman by the name of H. Craig Jones, and he was my mentor at Marshall High School.
Let me stop you real quick. So you would say that it is important for every young man to have some form of a mentor?
Oh yeah, without a doubt. And you know, we use statistics in my program quite a bit. And we let the guys know that we're African American males are 6% of the U.S. population, but we're upwards of 60% of the U.S. prison population. And when I sit around but we're up to 60%. And then I give them another statistic that they found impossible to believe. I tell them, let's look at the United States of America, and then I draw a map or draw a grid. I said, of all these states, which one do you believe has the greatest incarceration rate? And then sometimes they'll tell me what they think. Then I'll say, of all these states, these 50 states, which one do you think has the greatest black population? And then they'll think about it. And I said, but let's cut to the chase. In the United States of America, the 50 states that are in front of you, I was told, African American males are number one in the prison population in every state on that map. Wow. And they say, well, how can that be? What about Alaska and Hawaii? They got a busing program, and they compete. The states compete for those dollars that go to the incarcerated group. So we want to let them know you don't want to be a part of this. And then part of that process, that ongoing process, lets them know that, hey, here's how you can stay away from this. And then we put those things in perspective.
Absolutely. Man, that's news to me. And wow, thank you for shedding light on that. So tell me, like, what specific struggle shaped you the most as a man?
I think growing up on the west side of Chicago, man, that's... I think the process of maturation. I had an entrepreneurial spirit, and then there were gentlemen that were part of my family. I remember my cousin Alfred had a paper route.
Right.
And he was
that's an entrepreneurial spirit back a couple of years ago. I just want y'all to know. Look, a paper route that's how you become independent back then.
I see my audience, maybe some of them don't identify with that paper route, but boy, the size of the paper route, the number of papers you had determined what your pay was going to be. So sometimes the director, he would give, a 12 paper route, but my cousin always wanted a 60, and I didn't understand this. And I asked him, so why do you take such a large route? He said, look, because the paydays are bigger. So I always had that mindset. I wanted to do something that was going to create the atmosphere to allow me to have the greatest yield. And that's just a premise that just kind of stayed with me. Also, I would, as an entrepreneur, I I don't know, whatever the grocery store would offer up. I could go there and I could ask them if they want me to take the groceries to the car or take them home.
Oh, like pushing carts and
yeah,
doing all that
well,
stuff?
sometimes they didn't allow you to take the cart off the lot. That's true today as it ever was. But
They got the little wheel lock.
yeah, they got the wheel locks, and no, they got a sophisticated process whereby, they have a grid. So if you push that cart and you pass that grid,
That's it.
security comes out. Okay, sir, we'll take it now. So technology has evolved, and I'm just proud to say that I've benefited as a result of the issues and I won't say some of the calamity that I've experienced, but I've got about as many stories where it's been a learning experience as I do that it's been progressive. So
Okay.
it all works together.
Well, tell me some, like, because you have the program from Boys to Men. How long has that program been standing, by the way?
Oh, we started in the early 90s. I have a,
Early 90s?
92 or 93.
So, over 30 years.
Yeah, we've been, and we pay a fee to the state of Illinois to keep our incorporation valid.
Sure.
So I got to go down there to the state of Illinois building.
Wait a minute, so at least about 33, 34 years.
Yeah.
You add that to carry the one. He trying to say you about,
We ain't gonna tell my age, Reggie. We ain't gonna tell my age, Reggie. But
okay, well, tell me, like, what's, what was, like, one of the biggest things that, because you created the program, you obviously told us that in the program you wanted to make sure that young boys knew, hey, look, this is actually a reality. This is not just something that we talk about to scare you from doing bad in school and stuff like that. This is a real reality. So, like, what made you realize that there's so many grown men today who are still emotional little boys?
yeah, I think what happened is some of my frustration and some of my confusion as a part of my process of maturing was that I saw things happening. I remember once I was in a car. I was in this car just kind of riding around with these fellas, and the guy that was driving, he couldn't have been older than 13, and they asked me to come. There were 2 or 3 guys. Oh yeah, and I knew he wasn't old enough to have a driver's license, but it seemed like fun, so I jumped in.
You riding dirty with a 13-year-old?
Well, this was many moons ago.
Many moons.
And we got up. Listen, the police, they shined a bright light upon us, and they told us, "Hey, look, you guys are all too young in there to be riding around here. What gives here?" I remember we all kind of got just scattered in different directions. I got up on a fence, and I never forget that the police officer went down on one knee. What was I, 7, 8 years old? And he said, "Halt or I'll shoot." And I almost lost my footing on the back of that fence. And I knew that if my foot had hit the ground, that we wouldn't be having this interview now. But we resolved the issue. We told him, hey, look, we just got oh, you're joyriding? Yeah, whatever you want to call it. And he says, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to let you go today, because it's going to be too much paperwork for me to take you down to the station and then haul your parents out. It's going to create much more paperwork for me. I'm going to let you go with a warning today, sir. Don't ever ride along with somebody and they're in trouble, because they're going to pull you into this. And that was some of the best advice that I'd ever had at a young age.
Sure. And you never got caught riding dirty ever again?
No, well, I'm going to say I didn't get caught riding. Not with young guys. Not with 13-year-olds.
Right. I got you. Okay, so let's get into this. You've written over 42 books. You got a couple with us today. We're going to be giving some of these out, just so you guys know. But do you have a favorite?
I wrote a book called 42. Actually, it's 44 now. I got two what we call incubated. They just have to be published.
Gotcha.
Role model by default. Role model by default.
Okay.
And
Tell us about that one.
well, they kept telling me, "Hey, you the guy, you the guy, you the guy." I didn't want to be anybody's role model.
That's usually how it happens, you know?
I didn't. I promise you. But I don't know. I guess I kind of pressed it in the service long enough that I wanted to live up to the expectation that people had for me.
Sure.
So what I decided to do was, I said, well, I'll tell them how it's done. And then my expression that I use more often than not is reinvent. I always tell gentlemen that come before me that have matriculated through the program, I say, hey, reinvent yourself in somebody else that has the idea that they want to better their lives. And that is, so role model by default. And in it, I talk about the HELPS model. What is the HELPS model? Okay. HELPS, it's a copyrighted program that I put out. Not so much that I didn't want, I wanted it copyrighted because, I wanted to have a name connected with my image, whatever the case may be. I wanted it because if I would give instruction on how it is supposed to be used, and if you use it correctly, then it's all good. But anyway, it helps. It spells out the word helps, H-E-L-P-S. The H, health and hygiene. The E, education and economics, plays a big role. L, literacy and the law. This is going to be on the test, by the way, to my audience here. So P, police communication and parenting. And then finally the S, which is sports and society. And I'd always tell those guys, they always want to start from the bottom and work their way. Sports and society, everybody's not going to make it to the pros. And we tell them that right off the bat. And we give an illustration of, there are 300 professional jobs in the NBA.
Mm-hmm. And another 100 on reserve, so 400 altogether.
About 400 altogether. Oh, you remember that part?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, all right.
I'm here with it. All
right, very good. So what we tell them is that every year, all the major universities from Division I, Division II, and Division III, they graduate a whole slew of, and then I get up and I perform for them, stutter stepping, 360 degrees, backward dunking, brothers that know what they're doing and they know their way around a basketball. And there's 400 jobs, 400. And then we tell them, these are the things that you ought to know specific to sports. Mm-hmm. So we tell them and in that book, we tell them, here are the things that you need to know about. Here's what you need to know in order to take this thing up to the next level. We talk about all the administrative jobs that are available in the NBA and the NFL, what is, a sports medicine. We tell them all the jobs that are available in sports, separate and distinct from just wheeling and dealing with a basketball or a football or the MLB. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So that was one that I would say is one of my favorites. I don't necessarily have a favorite because the image and the ideas, they all come to me. I think that this is a part of my faith and my upbringing, that these ideas come to me for things that have to do with my titles, my book titles. I got a book out there called 9 Pounds of Gold. And in the book, 9 Pounds of Gold, we talk about what it is like. This gentleman, this young man, he wins, he has this concept and this idea. He comes up with an idea to extract gold. He finds out that through the national organization, National Atmospheric Administration, that there are 400 million pounds of gold in the oceans of the world. Mm. And when his science teacher tells him that, He wants to know, hey, look. He said, no, you're not going to be able to go out there and just pick it up. It's in the water in parts per trillion. Arsenic is in the water in our water system, but it's in there in parts per what? Million. So parts per trillion, it's finite.
Very finite.
So what he does, he invents a machine that extracts the gold. And instantly he becomes a millionaire. Now I can't tell you anymore because if I did, you're not going to buy the book. So that's available at Amazon.com.
That's good, man. That's good. That's good. Tell me, what was one of the hardest internal battles that you had to overcome as a man?
Oh boy, I would probably say, I wasn't a very. This is hard for me to talk about, but
That's all right.
I know it's going to improve somebody's life. But I was never the perfect student. I was never. Listen, I was my grades. I remember once I had a teacher. We would take the Iowa test of basic skills.
Iowa test?
The Iowa test of basic
How many
skills.
years ago?
Yeah, that was. Okay, and that would be the precursor. If you were in 8th grade, the score that you got determined what high school you were going to and what level of classes that you were going to be taking. And I remember I sat down with my 8th grade counselor, Miss Anderson, and my test result. She said, "Oh, I know, Mrs. Buford. You happy about the fact that we're going to take him? He's going to go to thus and such high school. He's going to have basic classes there." And my mother's looking at me, and she says, and my mother asked the counselor, Mrs. Anderson, "Do you think he'll be college material someday?" She said, and I never forget this. She told my mother, "No, he's not college material. Put him in a trade school. He'll make lots of money."
She said that to your mama, to her face?
Listen, here's what my mother did.
Y'all was both sitting right there?
She lowered her head.
Wow.
Man, I wasn't the best child in the world, but I would never do anything to offend my mother. Never. And I made a determination when Miss Anderson said that this won't be.
Just, we have no relation, just by the way. I don't know that Anderson that told you that. Hopefully that wasn't an auntie soft somewhere.
Okay. But I'm going to be checking when I leave. I'm going to make sure But anyway, I said, I'm going to prove to my mother, I'm going to prove to Mrs. Anderson, this is not my lot in life. Now, when I'm speaking to kids, I always say, let's fast forward. And I always tell them this. I know there's adults here tonight in our immediate audience, but I want to say to the listening audience, and there may be some youngsters there, I told Miss Anderson, no, I think I still want to go to college. And so they had this program when I got to be a junior in high school. They had this program, it's called CCIE, College Credit and Escrow. And I enrolled for that program. And this would be my high school counselor. He laughed. He said, "Mr. Buford, this is for our top. This is the upper echelon." And they had this program, CCIE, and I went and I applied. And I was rejected, but I kept showing up. First week of school, I showed up. The second week of school, I showed up. And maybe by the time the program was in the middle, probably midway in the program, one of the administrators came and said, "Mr. Buford, we don't see your name on the page, on any of our pages here." Administrator says, "But the strange thing is, you're doing well in all your classes. You haven't missed a class. The teachers are quite fond of you. You get along well with all the." I ended that program with honors.
Come on.
I ended that program with honors. And that's where it all started for me.
That's wild. So you improved because people told you no and that you couldn't.
It's not gonna happen. Well, that was 4 degrees ago.
4 degrees ago, my
Yeah.
man. You kind of like my wife. They say she's got more degrees than a thermometer. Double bachelor's and a master's. Shout out to my wifey. But yeah, wow, that's amazing. So for me, I'm gonna share mine because you shared yours. By the way, that wasn't that embarrassing, right? That was, they told me no, I did it anyway. Classic. But for me, now this is gonna be tough. Okay, I'm gonna shake the table a little bit. For me, it was 2 different things. My number one thing, and this was from grammar school, or they call it grade school, or elementary, whatever you want to call it. From that into high school, it was image. It was me not looking how I thought I should look. And the kids, man, he ugly and he smell bad. You gotta pick one. You gotta be ugly or smell bad. You gonna be both, you know. And so one of the things that I started to realize for myself as I was leaving high school was that, bro, who you are today is not who you have to become.
Exactly.
And who you are today,
Agreed.
It makes who you become. So are you gonna sit in it? Are you gonna keep things being the way they are, not being able to afford things, or are you going to get out and go get it? So I think what I dealt with before, being rejected in such a way, gave birth a strength to me and through me.
I know the feeling.
For entrepreneurship. And so, y'all, I'm telling you, like, when I say they was called, I could get over, the ugliness, because obviously I grew out of that, you know what I mean? but we had a rough childhood in this way. My dad worked all the time. Like, he would get off from one job, go be a cab driver until the next job started. So I mean, like, that was like the full day. And came home, gave it all to my mom, which, by the way, she had a job, very long-standing job, but she held that position. So she got up in the morning, went to work, and she was there with us after school, after a certain time, every day. But when I tell you they were only making the money just to pay the bills, that was like, so we learned to wash our own clothes.
Yep.
And so we washing our clothes in the tub, hands, scrubbing, wring it out,
Been there.
right? Throw it over the shower rack, right? And so you get up in the morning. You did this at night. So when you get up in the morning, if your clothes still a little damp, what you got to do? You still got to put them on.
You can wait. You can
Still got to
wait.
put them on. Now, so guess what? And this was bad in high school, y'all. But you still got to go to school. In high school, my freshman year, I get PE first. Go figure. So I'm already there with clothes that are not all the way dry. And then I go sweat in the clothes that are not all the way. And so they're like, oh my God, PU. And so, like, I dealt with that for a long time, from grade school into high school, and I started to shell up. And I think even community at that point is important. And so, and I know I kind of switched a little bit, but I hope everybody's with me. You guys with me? Yeah. I'm giving homage to the community that I had.
Yeah, man.
And that's what I look forward to making with my son, to get him in a place where the community could be right around him. Even though he doesn't have all of these things, all of these, barriers or hoops to jump through that we had, I still want his community to be right, because if mine wasn't, I don't believe that I would be the man that I am today. Much accredited to you as well. But I don't believe I would be the man that I am today without that happening.
Yeah, that experience.
But then other people being there to say, hey, look, it's okay. Life gets better. Make good decisions while you're in it.
Yes.
And then you'll come out better.
That was the premise. That was the whole premise.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Usually, this is all for our guests, but I just felt like I had to share that with my guys for a minute. Tell everybody wants visibility today. Very few people are really building something. So what's the difference between having visibility and really, really doing something? Because I would say that I can see now that you've really been doing something.
Yeah,
You've had the foundation for 30 plus years, but also you've been in other spaces and teaching other kids and mentoring, having different programs outside of From Boys to Men.
Yeah, you know, that's interesting. That my area of interest was economics, and I had an economics professor that made it relatively simple and said, hey, look, you can be a part. No, I don't want to touch that. She said, no, I'm going to help you. And there's an economic concept called, you know, where it says creative destruction. Creative destruction happens when you tear something down to make something bigger and better. We've all experienced that when you see that little Walgreens on the corner sometimes, and then it evolves into the super Walmart, whether the super Walgreens or the super Walmart store. They've destroyed the previous experience that they had with the store in order to make something bigger and better. And I've always chided my kids. I always wanted them to know through my own personal experience. One personal experience that I had that I'll never forget that had to do with me and my creative destruction, had to do with my job and my career. I was making some big bucks. I was at a bank, I won't call the name of it, but if I did, you'd know instantly. And when I got that first degree, I went from grade 3 to grade 9. And let me tell you, the money started, profit sharing. Oh boy, I got my first new car. Look, I've been driving.
What was it, a drop top? Did you get it?
It was an old Oldsmobile, but I won't tell you what year. But it was a nice Cutlass.
A Supreme?
Cutlass Supreme, yes.
Okay.
Now you're asking a lot of
Yeah.
questions. I didn't want to go there.
By the way, fellas, get your questions ready. Text it in. Enoch, we got a number for that, right? All right. So you all have it? Yeah. Text it in, and then if you got some questions. Okay, cool.
Listen, I took that experience, you know, and I did that for several years. And then the bank had some issues. And then I wound up, long story short, I lost my job. And I went south. I got people that live south, and I put in 100 applications. It just seems that something was just not connected here. I got a degree. I got talent. I come home one day, and my mother says, why don't you go there down to the Board of Education? You have a degree. And they said that they want teachers, and they want them, even if they don't have all, they will give you the wherewithal to, you know, pull it together and take some extra classes at night. They'll accept you. So in order to appease my mother, I went down and I filled out an application. And they called me, listen, I filled out an application Thursday. On Monday, they said, come down for an interview. I said, my life is over. I don't want to be no teacher.
My life is over.
So I went down. That was 30 years ago. I'm still in education today. Wow. But I say all that to say this. The lifestyle changed, gentlemen. The lifestyle changed. I was making half as much money as I was making with the big bank and the profit sharing, and had the apartment window that when I looked out, I could see the boats at Michigan Harbor, all that. But I was fulfilled. And the creative destruction that my faith had opened up within me showed me, we're going to do some things with some young men, and we're going to change their lives for the better. And you're going to be a part of that. I had this dream, and I spoke that into existence. That even though money is not everything, and I tell that to as you know, Reggie, I tell that to all the guys that come before me. Money is not everything. And then I give them my experience to show them. They say, you really were? Yes, I was working. I still have the placard that they gave me. And I put it on top of my desk, and I showed them. This was on top of my desk. That's right. My walnut desk, this placard right here. So if you want to be a part of that, again, reinvent yourself and somebody else and tell them about your experience and see that it makes a difference.
Absolutely. Okay, so in today's time, with this generation of men, what concerns you the most?
Well, I think it gets back to the economic thing. My ability, because I've got economics in my background, I always like to break that down for the young men that are part of my program. And I tell them, hey, look, if it's worthwhile to you to make a quick buck, that quick buck is probably going to disappear as quickly as it came. So again, if I could back this up to talk about the book that you asked me, I think the one that was most influential, again, is Role Modeled by Default. Because I told them about the creative destruction, and if you make bad choices, you got to live with those consequences. And then I start with my own, and I tell them about some unfortunate circumstances that I made that put me on a bad track. But because of family, because of mentors that I had, that I was able to tool it back together and pull it back together and keep on moving in the right direction. So I want to reinvent myself and others. And I think you're a great example of that, Reggie. I believe that you're one of my success stories, so I want to get that right out.
At least thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that. You batting 1,000 with me, I'm telling you. We're gonna go to the moon. I don't know who else.
Just make sure you put that money.
I just got one more question, which is a follow-up for that, and then I'll open it up to the guys. They already shooting it. They got a bunch of questions for you, man.
Excellent.
So I asked you, for this generation, what kind of concerns you the most? I want to flip that. What gives you the most hope about today's generation and in our youth?
Oh, I think what happens is many times when you give gentlemen an opportunity to redeem themselves,
they
want to take advantage of that. I had this kid. He was a big kid, and I was also, if I didn't say it before, I coached track and field, among other things, because I was a miler in high school. For all you milers out there, you know what I'm talking about.
Anybody run track?
Anybody run track?
My man, Theo.
Okay, Theo. So anyway, this kid was a big kid, and they picked on him for his size. And I remember one day he went, and there was a shot, the ball. It was an 8-pound ball. They had not retrieved him correctly, and this kid, somebody called him a name, and he went over there and grabbed that shot. And he took it and he threw it. No style, no form. And he threw that shot about 40 feet. I said, come over here for practice after school. Tell the principal, tell your mother you coming over, you're on the track team. And the longest short of that story was, those kids had berated this kid and called him names and whatever the kids. But boy, when he got on that bus, he had a gold medal around his neck, and it just did wonders for his perseverance and his peace of mind. And I just thought that was a great experience. I never forget that.
Yeah, man, that's so good. It reminded me of something that my uncle told me. My Uncle Henry, God rest his soul. He said that most times with young men, they don't know where they haven't been, so that hinders where they want to go.
Ooh.
And so a lot of times, and just for this scenario that you named, that kid hadn't found where he wanted to go yet.
No.
He didn't know that was in him, but it was in him, and it wasn't on him, it was in him. And so it took the right thing to be able to, to pull it out, and you saw that. So I think that's our challenge with all of the youth in today's time, right?
Yeah,
because sometimes. And it just happens this way. Sometimes your father can't be the one to bring it out.
Yeah.
Sometimes your uncles, they won't be the ones to bring it out. Sometimes it'll take an outside source, an outside mentor. Maybe someone who's going to your church or to who's at your school, and he sees that you're not slow He sees that you get it. You just get it in a different way.
Yeah.
Right. And so I think
Exactly.
today's youth takes a lot of patience, but I do see hope in the men of today, because I think more programs are being birthed in today's time to go and reach out to a brother or to reach out to a young man, because as opposed to back then, I mean, you were a solo business. I mean, I haven't heard of anything else like that when I was coming up. I hadn't heard of any other men's program mentoring like that. Now it's like, can you guys name some that are at schools and high schools, second chance programs and things like that, giving back to the youth? And we hear about them all the time. It was only church back then.
Yeah,
it was only church programs that reached out. Now it's inside of the schools, and now we have people that want to do that.
That's hope.
Young men that want to do that.
That's hope. That's
okay.
hope.
Okay. So, all right, man, y'all flooding it. I'm gonna shut on up and let me get to some of these questions. Let's get to got a question from Israel. Israel first. He asked, how has your relationship with God impacted you and the way that you mentor your young men? So, like, how has your faith brought your mentor into the forefront of the lives of these young men?
Listen, I have 3 licenses that I have to renew all the time. 2 of them I've talked about at some length. That's an insurance license, and I'm not necessarily, perpetuating that.
Mm-hmm.
I have a teaching's license, and I also have a ministerial license.
Come on.
And if I had to accept just one, I'd probably keep my ministerial focus, because everything else comes with time. But that ministerial license, I tell you that of a certain, I would not have affected as many lives, I don't believe, if the ministry portion had not kicked in. Because of many times, listen, let me tell you something that I wanted to walk away from it, because let me quote a scripture.
Come on.
37 Psalm.
Hey, this is the Kingsman podcast. You can
37 Psalm verse 4 said, delight thyself also in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart. And I believe that to be true. And every time when I feel like, oh boy, where do I go from here? I always look up and think, so, well, according to the word, I'm moving forward. And that's the investment that I wanted to always make in all the young men and some young women that came before me. I always want to let them know there's hope. Regardless of where it is, regardless as to where you are, there's hope.
I love that.
There's hope.
Absolutely. Okay. We got another one.
Mm-hmm.
This is from my main man, Anthony. I think I've been thinking about nicknames to call him, like A Block, or I don't know. Because they got D Block, but A Block. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I've been there.
Got a pretty good question from my man. He said, which book was the hardest one for you to write? Like, it gave you the most amount of writer's block. This one was like, man, should I release this one? What is it? It gave you a struggle.
Okay, well, I wanna.
And how did you push through? Okay, I had a feeling that you were gonna go there. I had a feeling.
This book is called. Wow. You got a beat on this?
Yeah, I think you here. A beat on this, man.
Only Believe.
Come on.
Is the title, but then it has a subtitle: The Power of Praise, Prayer, and Miracles. Wow. My life has truly been a miracle. If I told you some of the experiences maybe you could relate to, but there are other things that happen instinctively. I mean, just instinctively. So I want to set the table so that an average person can see what they're experiencing, to understand why it is that you've been placed in a scenario. If you're in the helping ministry, there's a reason for everything. It may be unbeknownst to you, but this was probably the hardest to write, because there's no ifs, ands, and buts. You either say it and believe it, or you don't. So this book was probably.
All right, for sure. Okay, we gonna be we got some special stuff for y'all coming, that may be the one. I'm thinking that may be the one. Okay, got another one. This one from my main man, Brandon. I know you speak about reinventing yourself.
Yeah.
Do you have any books that would give a guide toward accomplishing whatever goal you set out with as it pertains to reinventing yourself?
Oh, Lord. There's plenty of stuff out there. See, the thing that you got to remember, was that Brandon? Mm-hmm. You probably already have the answer to certain questions that specific to your life. It's just that you might not necessarily, you see this guy. I'm thinking of this guy. I was going into a Wendy's, and he told me that, hey, look, can you get me a thus and such and thus and such? I said, but what difference does it make? If you're hungry, if you're really hungry, does it make any difference if I just take you in there and just get you anything that's available, even if it's a special? He said, well, I tell you, it's like this. I haven't eaten in a while, and I like certain things, and some things I can't. Now, I could tell already that when he said that and walked him through those paces, I know he was not serious. So I said, I'm just going to pray with you, and I'm just going to give you $10, and you do whatever you want to do with it. I'm saying all that to say this. Don't waste your time with somebody that has an ulterior motive. It's not worth it. Because if he's made up in his mind that his objective is to pull the wool, that's what he's going to do. So it's better that you keep on moving. Just keep on moving in the right direction. You're not going to change his mind.
Hey, that's some sauce right there, but that's good. That's good. I also have an answer to that question as well. And I'm also refer back to myself. Because I gave you guys one thing that I was faced with as a challenge growing up, and it was identity. The second one was identity, but it was one in my childhood, one in my manhood. The second identity was in business. So when I first started in financial services, I actually was Reggie of Reggie's Ribs, the guy that likes the way meat sweats on the grill, okay? And with me already having that business established, when I would try to tell people about me moving into something new, going into financial services, they like, yeah, cool story, bro. Where the ribs at? You know what I mean? And so they couldn't get past seeing me as the rib guy.
Yeah.
I guess I did a good job at marketing that, being Reggie's Ribs. Yeah. But I wanted for people to see me in this light take me serious in business. And so the identity shift or the reinvention of myself in that was, you got to start by taking yourself serious.
Yep.
Reinvention starts in the mind first. So do you really see yourself as that?
Tell it.
And so, yeah, hey, I like the way meat sweats on the grill. That's extracurricular, and that is very, very easy. We can play in that lane all day. We can have a grill off with the best of them. And that restaurant is going to open up much like thousands of restaurants have opened before it, and thousands are going to open after it. But what I'm doing, impacting the lives of young men and men that are my age and men that are older, that's priceless. And my identity lies in who am I building? Who am I making better? Mm-hmm. Who can I say that I left better than I found? So I had to reinvent myself first in the mind, just to know that, hey, I'm serious and I want to reach people. I'm in a people business now and I love it. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what 80% of all new businesses fail within the first 2 years. Within the first 2 years of all new businesses. And that's because the wherewithal is just not there when they go, when they get just that close to the finish line. Oh, these bills are coming in. Oh, I got accounts payable here, they're way up in here. You got to be able to transition, as you were saying, Reggie. You got to be able to transition and see yourself in the distance.
Absolutely. Got another one from my man's Dre. Well, Andre Jones, we just call him Dre. Dre Juice, whatever you want to say. I don't know. I'm throwing him out there today, huh? Andre wants to know, as a man who mentors young men, what advice would you give to fathers, who are raising boys to become incredible men, to be men of honor, be men of standard, and not victims? Okay, because we got some victims out there today. To be victims of the street into a negative lifestyle. So what would you say to those fathers?
Look, we had a program. My church has a prison ministry, and we go into facilities all the time, and we talk to these gentlemen about experiences. They get an opportunity. This is a specialized program that gives them an opportunity rather than going to the big house. They can stay in. They can stay in this incubated program, and basically they have mentors and tutors, and that's why they asked me to be a part of this. And I say all this to say this. If you're willing to take it to that next level and make yourself a part of the solution, that's half the battle right there. You can never see yourself looking at somebody else and don't think that you're looking in a mirror. You are the change. You are the change.
Absolutely.
You are the person that's going to make the difference. You can't necessarily look to Uncle, look to brother, but if they all look inwardly, they're going to come up with the same answer. You got to see yourself as part of the solution.
I got two more. Is that cool?
Oh, look, I'm happy. I'm happy.
I'm here all night, fellas. I'm here all night. Okay, so what are some foundational pillars as a man you had to build up and develop in order to reach other men? Like some things that you know that are non-negotiable for you, that you had to say, okay, now that I know this is me. I'm not wavering. I'm not moving away from this because this has shaped me as a man. Like, what are some of your foundational pillars?
I want to say again, with myself as an example, I remember I left school. I spent 3 years at Illinois State University. I get a call from my mother, and she says, hey, I'm just happy that I spent 3 years. I told you that story about my counselor. She said I'd never be successful in an academic environment. But my mother called me up. She said, well, your stepdad has cancer, and we really, we're going to support you in your last year of school. And I said, no, I'm coming home. My mother had supported me through all my experiences, and my stepdad was a really good guy. So I wanted to come home, and I did. I got a job, and I was working for the Chicago Board of Education in my first capacity with the Board of Education in the area of security. And I never forget what the sergeant that was training us, this one brother threw his hand up and said, listen, you gonna give us some guns to go into those schools? He said, no, I want you to use finesse. I want you to run to the problem. Wait a minute, run to the problem? He says, no, I want you to be able to fit. You're going to be the smart guy. When I finished my training, they called my principal up, and they told my principal,
because you used that. That's crazy.
We're going to put him on tier 3. Tier 3 is like supervisory. Now, I'm not bragging on myself or anything, but it forced me to reckon with some of the issues that I'd be dealing with, even as a teacher down the road. Go to the problem. But when you go to the problem, always know there's a solution, but that solution should be coming from you. Don't wait for people to tell you. You let them know, here's what I'm going to do to process this information, and I'm going to, when you're in leadership, you're always going to depend on you. Every job I've ever had. But I may have to sacrifice in order to come up with the right solution. And that right solution, as I told you gentlemen before, If I'd only been looking at it inwardly from the financial perspective, I never would have taken that job working as a teacher and making half the salary that I made. But it was not all about the process of enduring, but rather me having the solution that I felt that would affect the lives exponentially of other people, young people. I hope that makes sense.
It makes a lot of sense. I'm just sitting over here just constantly thinking about Solomon. That's so wise of you to have that, to run toward the problem and then make the solution. I just started thinking about Solomon. And there was a baby. I'm sorry, there was a woman who had a baby, right? And she rolled over on that baby in her sleep. And she killed her baby. And she got right on up, went into her neighbor's house, and took that baby. That mother woke up in the morning and said, "Where's my baby? My baby's gone." Ran to the king. Solomon said, "Why are these women here?" They said, "O king." I'm paraphrasing, by the way, y'all.
Go ahead.
The lady said, "O king, this lady broke into my house and stole my baby." She said, "This ain't her baby. This is my baby." And Solomon said, "Okay, here's what we'll do. Let's cut the baby in half." That lady right there who didn't roll over on her baby and who got her baby stole from, she dropped to her knees immediately. And she said, "Don't do it. Don't do it.
Give it to her. She can have it.
She can have that baby." Solomon said, "Remove that baby right now from that lady. That's not his mother." Because that lady said, "Okay, cool. Cut him in half.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, cut him in half." And at that moment, he knew that wasn't the true mother, because what would a true mother do? True mother would rather give you up than to see you die. That lady had already rolled over on her baby. She seen her baby die. So that wisdom, or that going towards the solution, or going toward the problem head on and facing it and then giving that solution, it brought out that. And so absolutely, that makes a lot of sense that man, this is crazy. Y'all,
The title of my book is Big Instinct Meet King Solomon. And I talk about that experience in that book. I give it a different twist. But
I'm saying I could talk all night, man. I can go all night. We got one last question, man. We got one last question. I can stop sending them in right now, because we're gonna have some time to talk with them a little bit off camera. But let me give you this one. So, what are your favorite Bible quotes
Proverbs
that you live by?
Proverbs 22:6. Train up a child in the way that he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart. Now, about 6, I believe it's 15, 22 and 15. He says, "Foolishness is bound in the heart of a child, but the rod of correction will drive it far from it."
You get out of that.
Rod is not always a physical, it's a belt, but the rod is direction.
Direction.
And we provide that, gentlemen. We're going to provide that rod of correction. It drives it from them. Mentoring is a rod of correction. It drives it from them. Spending time talking about things that are off the beaten path. If they have an interest in something, whether it be a sport, now it's okay for you to tell them, "Oh, look, I'm going to be the next..." I used to say Michael Jordan all the time, but then when Michael Jordan retired, Steph Curry.
LeBron James.
He has an interesting story.
Kobe.
But they want to be athletes, and it's up to us to tell them, "Hey, look, there are other alternatives." Reinvent yourself in the kids that you aspire to train up. Man, ladies and gentlemen, Stanley G. Buford.
Y'all, this concludes episode 6 of the Kingsmen podcast, and all the Kingsmen said. Okay, who's been here for 3 events straight? Bam, my man's in the 3 straight. 3 straight. Okay, cool. Next event free. My man, we got a special link that'll be up for you. You'll still register using that link, but you got a discount code that'll be for that. Next event, June 17th. Mark your calendars. We're going to have a different guest speaker out. I'll give you his name right now because we already have it set in stone. His name is Mr. Stephen Evans. And this is the owner of a couple different spas all around. The city of Aurora, Naperville, and Chicago. And so you guys are in for a treat. I'll let you know right now. I'm spilling beans right now, okay? You guys are going to have a chance to get house-blended tea, and then also some trips to the spa, man. We need it as men too, right? We need it as men. And so next event speaker, Steve Evans, and I'll see you guys June 17th. Peace. And all the Kingsmen said? Yes.